Nestle is recalling 3 batches of edible chocolate chip cookie dough tubs because they may contain soft plastic film. These batches were produced from August 1st to August 3rd and distributed to retailers across the United States. The company says that there are no reports of illness or injuries. People who bought the products should return them for a replacement or a refund. You can find more information on the FDA's website. Unlike the current rising cost of holiday travel, the enrollment cost for TSA PreCheck is dropping. TSA PreCheck's providers reducing enrollment and in-person renewals from $85 to $78. The cost to renew online is still $70. If approved, enrollees get a 5-year membership, with PreCheck passengers getting expedited security screenings, which allows them to leave on their shoes, their jackets, and belts. In September, 93% of PreCheck passengers waited less than 5 minutes at airport security checkpoints. We won't have to wait that long for our chief meteorologist to return. Hutch will be back with an update on your Monday night weather planner.